Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're completely dismantling the myth that you need angel investors or a fat savings account to launch a successful business in 2026. If you've ever felt stuck on the sidelines of entrepreneurship just because your bank account isn't overflowing with startup cash, you are in exactly the right place. This is the ultimate consultant's guide to zero capital, and we're looking at 5 practical, proven, and totally beginner-friendly business models that require absolutely zero financial investment to get off the ground.
Here is the massive mindset shift you need to make right off the bat. Too often, we get completely caught up in the idea that we need a fancy degree or a massive financial runway to be taken seriously. But honestly, your ability to solve problems is your true capital. The modern economy heavily rewards those who can step into a messy, chaotic situation and provide clear, actionable solutions. Simply put, people pay for clarity, not certificates.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll debunk the zero capital myth, dive into freelance problem solving and experience-based online consulting, look at zero-cost digital agencies, explore content and remote support, and wrap it all up with the zero capital takeaway. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The Zero Capital Myth. No money? Honestly, no problem. We have to start by tearing down the biggest roadblock for most beginners.
There is this huge divide between perception and reality here. You know how everyone thinks they need venture capital, formal degrees, or a massive financial runway? Total myth. What do you actually need? You just need absolute clarity on one single problem that you can solve better than someone else. Combine that with a few free digital tools and some clear communication, and you're in business. You don't need a runway. You just need to identify a specific pain point and offer a fix.
Moving on to Section 2, freelance problem solving, let's redefine a very common term in the business world.
Look, we've got to stop thinking freelancing is only for graphic designers or software engineers. At its absolute core, it's just about executing a specific operational fix. Companies are desperately in need of help with back-end tasks. They need people to organize messy data, manage out-of-control inboxes, do competitor research, or document basic processes. These are literal nightmares for founders, and stepping in to fix them requires exactly zero upfront cash. The real secret to making this work, it's all in how you position yourself. If you jump onto Upwork or Fiverr and announce, "Hey, I'm a beginner looking for work," you're going to hear crickets. You have to sell a valuable outcome. Imagine pitching this instead. I help founders organize messy data into clean reports. Boom. That is incredibly powerful. You're telling a potential client exactly what headache you're taking away. You're not selling your hours, you're selling that pristine, finished report.
And delivering this is so incredibly accessible. Got a laptop and decent Wi-Fi? Great. Add in Google Docs, Sheets, and Zoom or an email account, and that's the whole shebang. You can literally start this today with zero investment. Don't know how to do market research or build lead lists yet? Hit up YouTube, it's all there for free. Practice on some mock tasks, get obsessed with the details, and you are entirely ready to take on global clients.
All right, Section 3, experience-based online consulting. This is where we turn your raw everyday experience into a highly valuable asset.
If you've ever hacked a solution in your own life, maybe you built a bulletproof budgeting system, a unique fitness routine, or a crazy effective productivity hack, you already have the raw materials for a consulting business. Step 1 is just identifying that advice area, your zone of genius. Step 2, you structure it into a simple, repeatable framework, like a 3-step system. And Step 3, start sharing that content online to build your credibility. No fancy degree required, just a proven track record of solving a real problem.
So how does this actually grow? Well, you start in the beginner phase using completely free tools like Calendly and basic video calls. You might even offer a few free sessions at first just to grab some killer testimonials. Those testimonials are gold because they let you confidently charge for one-on-one calls. Once you're ready to scale, that simple consulting practice can easily evolve into high-income group coaching or digital products. And the best part? Navigating this entire journey takes zero money, just confidence, clarity, and showing up consistently.
Section 4. Zero-cost digital agencies. Let's talk about building an agency without spending a dime.
If you think building an agency means renting a trendy office and hiring a massive team right out of the gate, we need to scratch that idea entirely. You can absolutely launch a solo digital service agency with just yourself and free tools. Whether you're offering basic SEO audits, social media content planning, or setting up email campaigns, the real game changer here is the pricing model. You charge your clients for the actual outcomes you generate, not the hours you spend clicking around.
So, what's the playbook? First, pick one single service and master it using free tutorials on Canva or Notion. Next, test it out on a mock project so you actually have a portfolio. Then just start reaching out. Seriously, you don't even need a website on day one. A well-crafted direct message on LinkedIn or a cold email works wonders. As you get more clients, you standardize your process, and eventually you can outsource the execution to others. Boom, you've just transformed a solo hustle into a highly scalable agency.
Moving right along into Section 5, Content and Remote Support. We're talking about massive leverage here. We are combining two incredibly powerful models. First up is educational content creation. If you can take a complex topic and explain it simply for beginners, you can build an audience. Period. You start by choosing your topic. Now, during the growth phase, you have to remember that consistency beats perfection every single time. It might feel a bit slow at first, but your efforts will compound like crazy over time. Eventually, you hit monetization, bringing in revenue through ads, sponsorships, or your own digital products.
Alternatively, let's look at one of the most underrated zero-capital plays out there, remote support services. Busy executives and creators are literally drowning in daily tasks. They will happily pay you for reliable support to take that weight off their shoulders. I'm talking about inbox management, calendar scheduling, replying to customer support tickets, or doing basic online research. Pick one narrow service, become the absolute best at it, and you are essentially trading your organizational skills for stable recurring income.
What this really comes down to is leverage. On one side, you can use a smartphone and some free editing software to make a single piece of content that earns ad revenue on repeat for years. On the other side, you can use free task management tools like Trello to offer remote support, locking in rock-solid recurring monthly income from an international client base. Content gives you infinite scale, support gives you absolute stability, and both require zero startup cash.
Finally, Section 6, the zero capital takeaway. Remember, your knowledge is your capital.
Let's bring all this together into one unified consultant's mindset. Whether you choose freelancing, consulting, an agency, or content, every single path shares the exact same blueprint. The philosophy, your knowledge and experience are the only capital you actually need. The strategy, you must focus on one highly specific problem instead of trying to be everything to everyone. And the execution, leverage those free digital tools, master clear communication, and just be relentlessly consistent. Having cash in the bank is simply not a prerequisite for business success anymore.
We've covered 5 proven zero investment frameworks that you can literally start acting on the minute this explainer ends. The tools are free, the information is out there, and the clients are waiting. The only barrier left is deciding where to direct your focus. So, armed with all of these strategies, what specific problem are you ready to solve today? Think about it, own that solution, and go start building. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.